Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Make It Rock, the show where I show you how I make it rock, and you can too. Still workshopping that catchphrase. Anyway, let's see who we got here. Thank you to Jade Star for bouncing everyone over here, and we got Leela. I know she's on a dog walk, but she put the links in here, all the relevant links that you need: the Patreon, the Chaos Club, the super chats, which are greatly appreciated. Hello to Pete Johns. You're on time for everything. Amazing what getting sleep does. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Pause and guitars. Welcome. How you doing? We got real Justine Kasprick in the house, except no substitute. Folk and Blueser, what's up? How you doing? Forrest of the Wolf is here. What's going on? We got my lovely wife downstairs. Yeah, let me tell you about this. So I had the idea that so I love Malden sea salt because I'm kind of into like food and weird shit like that. Anyway, I wanted to get one so it would seal because it usually comes in this box, and I wanted something with a lid on it. And I got this tub. I didn't quite realize how big it was going to be. It is enormous. We have sea salt for the next, I don't know, millennium. Hey, Trevor Bear, welcome. Hey, this is the new show. This is only the second episode of the show. But yeah, we're gonna be doing this on Tuesdays for the time being, anyway. Fat Panda Cat, what's going on? Jade Star, there she is. I look younger. You know what? See, this is the beauty of the later time schedule. I was able to squeeze a haircut in. So I got my haircut for I hadn't had that done since Christmas time. We got Gortium in the house. Hoy hoy. I get a salt lick. I might as well have. Anyway. Wow, we got some fun stuff here. We're gonna be taking a look at the track that I did, the Field of Snakes, and check out how that was all put together. Of course, in Fruity Loops FL Studio. I wanna show you guys something really cool first. I think this is super exciting. I think you're gonna find this very exciting as well. For all of you who create music and you don't like seeing what's going on with kind of the AI stuff, because I sure as hell am not a big fan of it. You rock salt. That's a good one. I like that. Anyway, so this cool guy Ben Jordan, he's a really awesome music creator on YouTube. He did this video, and it's called "The Art of Poison Pilling Music Files." And I can give you the link for it here. I'll pop it in the chat. But anyway, he's figured out a way, and I think this is so awesome, that he's figured out a way to put like hidden sounds and hidden noise into tracks. And what it does is you're not able to hear it, but it confuses AI completely. And he actually goes through in this video a lot of detail of how that actually works and what it actually does and what the effect of it is on the different algorithms that are used to generate this AI music. So it basically totally confuses the AI, and the AI like thinks that synthesizers are strings and all kinds of weird stuff. And so there's actually like graphs and stuff that show how the AI like fails to learn when it's exposed to this kind of music with these poison pills in it. Which I think is awesome. I also think there may be a bad side effect to this too, because it might also be the end of bootleg recordings at concerts, because he's figured out a way to put out a signal so that if you're in the room, you can hear the music, but if you try to record it with a phone or something, all you get is like a noise. And I have a feeling that's going to be adopted pretty widely with music concerts, because they're always fighting against people recording and stuff, and I have mixed feelings about that. I kind of like to be able to have the recordings possible, but I don't know. We'll see what comes of that. But it's a very cool video. I hope you'll go and go check it out. Go support Ben. He's an awesome creator. Really does great stuff. Hello, Driven to Right. How you doing? Good to see you. Uh, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna get into FL Studio and take a look at this track, "The Field of Snakes." Here we go. Let's go to FL Studio. Oh, what the hell is that? Was very disappointed when I went in. Oh no. That wasn't quite the FL Studio that we were bargaining for. Look at that. I really want to go there. I don't know where this is. I have a feeling it's somewhere in like Eastern Europe or something, but I really want to go to FL Studio. Maybe they have like some gross beat or something in there. I don't know. I just thought that was fun. Wanted to share that with you. Here's the real FL Studio. And here's the track. Okay. So we have the whole thing. This is the playlist with all the whole track here for you. Yeah, you guys enjoy that. By the way, if you have any questions as we go along, just throw them in there in the chat, and I'll try to address them as we go. But we're kind of look at this in sections and take a look at what's going on. I did do the really smart thing, and I reproduced, I duplicated the file so that I'm not destroying anything. If I make changes to stuff, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about that. And I don't have to worry about it either, which is nice. So let's play through a little bit of this. I know most of you probably have heard this song, but let's play a little bit of it here for you. All right, so there we go. That's just a little bit up to the first chorus. Let's talk about this this first track here. What's going on here in the opening section of the track? And let's take a look at that. I'm not actually sure even what this is a loop that I got off of the FL Cloud, but what's it doing here? Okay, so that's kind of what I was going for with this was a little bit of a trap, sort of a beat on the verses, and then it kind of explodes into this bigger rock thing in the chorus. So I kind of got like this trap topper thing off the FL Cloud, which is a great way to do that. And then this probably is what this is the main kind of drums that I programmed in here on track 2. You can see I already, if you remember last week's show, everything was nicely labeled and stuff. That didn't happen here. We're on track 2 of the album. I don't know if this was the second track that I recorded. It may well have been. No, I don't think it was. I think this was maybe 3rd or 4th, but this is probably from about September of last year. How I record guitars in FL Studio. That is a big topic in Trem Repair, because recording in FL Studio is unusual. I can probably give you just a little bit of insight. So what ends up having to happen, I have to open up this mixer view here, which you go under View, and you can open up the mixer, and there it is. And so you see this here, guitar in. Now, this was like a second version. In the first version of this track, I had Amplitude loaded up on this guitar in, and the guitar would be set as the input here. And then what happens is it's routed out to these various. This is like the left guitar. This is the right guitar. This is the solo guitar. So what I would do is record into these various channels, and I have to do that with this little button down here, and you have to kind of like left click on it and save it as see, and then you actually have to kind of name it. It gives you the name of the file, but I like to put on the end of it like verse 1, verse 2, because I record in sections. So I'll do like I'll do the first verse. There's no guitars in the first verse, in the verses of this song at all, I don't think. But I put you know, I'll put like the first chorus, second chorus. I put that at the end just so I know what they are. And I recorded at least in this track, and I think most of the tracks on this album I recorded with the effects, with Amplitude already on it, just to save in processing and stuff. And that's why I made this second project without it. And this was back when I still was using the Mac M1, so a little bit less processing power. Now I've done some more recent tracks where I've actually just done the tracks straight onto a track with Amplitude, multiple versions of it, which is nice because then I can just record like the dry guitar, and then I can change the amp settings and stuff later on if I want to. I can't do that in this one. So I hope that kind of answers your question. I know it's a big topic. I'll probably have to do a whole show on just that at some point in the future. So, but thank you for your question. That was a great question. So this is our drums. It's literally just a couple of kick drums. And this is still part of the intro. That's why. And here we go. This is where it gets into the verse where the vocals are, which are these. Forked tongues and deadly fangs filled with. So we have those drums that are programmed in, and they're programmed in here in the channel rack, and somewhere down here. Where are they? Oh, I know why. I have to actually select the pattern first. There you go. Now you can see them. It's literally just that. And then when we go into pattern 2, should be able to see. There's the snares. Pattern 3. There we have the snares. And it's kind of in a halftime feel on the verse here. What do we have in track 3? I'm not even sure what this is. Okay, so that's our synth sound. Where is that coming from? That is coming from Predator 3. This crazy thing right here. This is an awesome synth, by the way. I did a Patreon thing on this once when I got it. It just has so many cool sounds in it. Rob Papin, if you get the chance to check out some Rob Papin, they are a little on the pricey side, but I feel like they're definitely worth it. Let's see what's happening here, because we have a little bit more that's going on here in this fourth track. That's more synth stuff, like a plucked synth. And that's another Rob Papin synth, but this one is Blue 3. Blue 3. This is so the Predator 3 gives you more kind of distorted sounds. This one does better with it has some distorted sounds in it, but it does better with some of the cleaner synth sounds. So I like to use this one. This is another unbelievable synth. I really highly recommend both Predator 3 and Blue 3, which is just the current version they're on. I used to use back in the day Rob Papin synth, and this is why I went back to him because I used to use Albino 3. That was back in the 32-bit days. they don't even offer that one. It wouldn't even run on this machine, but those synths definitely carry on the same lathy. Yeah, it does have a bit of an Asian kind of vibe to it. Now what is this? This is another thing I downloaded off the FL Cloud. Let's see what this is. It's literally just kind of like it's like a drum machine cymbal or something, like a ride maybe. I don't know what they actually are calling this, but metallic steam is what they call it. FX loop. So I just threw that in there. And when you layer all this stuff up, it just sounds cool. Now let's go down here to this sixth track, and this corresponds. Here we got pattern 8, and it's another blue synth. We're just layering up these blue synths in this track, and this is all panned far to the right. It might even be hard to hear that, but it's like just this subtle, unsettling thing. Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I saw that earlier where you won the union at your work. That is incredible. Very important these days to have those protections. My goodness. So congratulations on that. That is really, really awesome. All right, let's go down. So, we'll talk about the Logic drums in a little bit. They're only on the choruses because I was trying to go for more of an electronic vibe on the verses. So there's no guitars on the verses at all. And then we have the vocals for the verses, and we'll take a look at that here. And so we have this lead vocal here.
Stay awake, alert and cautious, don't let them smell your fear.
And if you guessed that this was going through Xbox Pro, bing, 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 we have a winner, because that's exactly what is happening. And of course, it's on all the vocals running through some Xbox. We got some compression going there. We got the tone happening here, which is just basically an EQ, fancy name for an EQ. Space, there's nothing because I'm using the delay bank. Actually, this is one of the FL Studio plugins that it comes with. It can be very hard to actually bring it up where you can see it. There we go. So this one actually has, I think it's like up to 8 different delays in one delay. I think that's what's going on here. I'm sure I'm probably just edited a preset, because that's usually what I do with that kind of thing. Is just edit the freaking preset, you know. Because I'm lazy. I don't know about all of you, but I am a lazy producer, and if I can use a preset or something, I'm gonna gosh darn do that. Anyway, so we have this backing vocal.
Through the grass, see the glowing eyes looking through you as they lay in wait.
So I'm doing a lot of this.
And deadly fangs filled with toxic
Now,
venom.
when you put these together,
stay awake.
You almost don't know that, and it's panned way to the left.
Skulls and bones.
And it just adds this little texture to the vocals. I think it's pretty cool. Just a little thing I kind of picked up. Hey, 13 Scary, what's going on? Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this big chorus because it all changes right here. This is where it all goes totally different. So we have different drums here. This probably is the FPC, which is a sample-based drum machine that is built into FL Studio. And it's pretty freaking badass. I'll bring it up here. Here we go. So I just started off with something like that. Thank you so much. Oh, you made your first production video. I gotta check that out. Very cool. Very cool. I'll learn the secrets of 13 Scribbles, aka 13 Scary. But there we go. Just a simple drum thing. And then there is a fill at the end. I don't think there is a little bit of a fill on. So I like to put a fill. So we go 1, 2, 3 on the fourth kind of repetition, always on the even numbered ones, and then the last one gets the big fill. So like the little fill here, it's just got that little at the end, but on this one it's gonna have a bigger fill. So that so it's basically the same as the one before, but it's got that little da in there as well. Let's see what's going on here. I'm not actually sure what this is on track 8. Oh, this is the bass. Okay, this is the bass. So this is actually using the Flex plugin to create the bass. There it is. It's hiding. There we go. There's the Flex plugin. And this is a great plugin. It's just a rompler. That's all this is. But it gives you some nice controls. You have a little bit of low, mid, high. It gives you some variation as far as like a cabinet goes. And these will have different macros. That is what they call them. Different controls depending on which. So if you have a synth, it's going to have synth-oriented controls. So these can be different things. But with this bass guitar, it gives you this. It gives you the distance that the microphone is from the cabinet. It gives you some variation in terms of which pickup you're using on the bass and which blend of pickups. I have the overdrive, of course, turned up to max, which doesn't do as much as you think it would do. And no chorus on this at all. And so it's doing this. Love FL Studio's piano roll. Big part of the reason why I use FL Studio is this freaking piano roll is so awesome. It's just so intuitive to work with and move things around. You can actually change here the steps. I have it on 1/6 of a step, which is kind of odd. I don't know why I have it on that. It should be on usually I have it on 1/2 a step, which gives you some degree of, control. But you could, if you want to make it a little finer, you could take it up to 1/4 of a step, and then you can go. You're really going like half of these grid lines here, which is super cool. Yeah. These bass guitars, Bear, I love them. I love them. And as you can see, if we go back to the plugin. If we can go back to the plugin. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So you can see there's a whole bunch here. These are all basses. These are basses. They have guitars. Look at all these guitars. So many different guitars that you can choose from there. Are all of them good? No. Some of them are terrible, but that's okay. We can have that. Hey Feisty, welcome. All right, so that's the bass on the chorus there. Let's go back to this playlist, and we'll continue to go down here. We do have these drums that come from Logic's Auto Drummer, because this just adds so much realism to it, I think. Oh, we're still on, switch it back to song mode there. Literally, it's like having your own drummer at your beck and call, and that's what's cool about it. So I love to bring in the drums from Logic. Unfortunately, FL Studio at this moment, now they they copy a lot of stuff back and forth. FL Studio will introduce a new feature, and then lo and behold, Logic comes out and it's got the same thing. Like FL Studio introduced the stem splitter. All of a sudden, Logic comes out, it's got a stem splitter. FL Studio introduced mastering within the app. It's not very good, but it's something. And Logic introduced mastering within the app, and pretty much the same thing applies there. It's not the greatest, but it works. It's it's passable. Here we have the guitars. And we have a left and a right guitar. So this is the left guitar. And then this is the right guitar. A little bit more of a brighter sound there with that. You put them together. Now, one of the tricks I love to do with guitar is I'm not a great guitar player by any stretch of the imagination. I don't consider myself a guitar player. I'm a keyboard player, but I can play power chords and stuff, basic things. It's, little solos with individual notes that any real guitar player would probably chuckle at. But what I like to do with the guitars is one of them. I like to have a little bit of a heavier tone, more distorted. The other one more like just like an overdriven guitar, but not totally, balls out. I think that just adds something cool to it. If you incorporate a little bit of not as distorted, gives you a little bit of the, like, you can hear the strings and stuff. I like how that works. So that's a good one. And then here we have our vocals on the chorus. We actually have 3 stacked up. So we have the main vocal.
Hey, where before you become the prey in the field of snakes.
And then we have the double.
Hey, where before you become the prey.
And that's off on the left-hand side, or left-hand side. And then we have this another low one.
Beware before you become the prey in the field of snakes, destined to slither till the dying day.
But when you add all these together, it really just kind of adds like a nice.
Beware before you become the prey in the field of snakes, destined to slither till the dying day.
But I really put an emphasis on this album because what I used to do, and I feel like I used to do this, and I feel like it was wrong. I used to always do vocals down the middle on verses and vocals split left and right on choruses. And I realized that you really, I think, need to have a vocal that just goes right down the middle, I think, all the time. And I'm sure there are lots of examples where people don't do that, and it sounds great. But I don't know. It's something just listening to music. It was like, yeah, I think I should start doing it that way. Anyway, so we get back. So there's going to be this little transitional part here just between the let's bring everything back in. There's a little transitional part here. It just brings us into the second verse. Vocal on the sides is for a dreamy type of feel. Yeah, I could totally see that. And it's just kind of using a lot of the same sounds that are in this verse part. Is there anything new that gets added? Yes, there is. So on the second verse, we have this little bit here that gets added. And I'm not quite sure what that is, but we'll find out. Oh, okay. So I bring in the bass. So that bass isn't in there on the first verse, it is in there on the second verse. And that's really the only thing that changes between the two verses is basically that. And this part goes all the way through, where on the first one, it only goes through in the second half of it. And that's something that I like to do more and more as I've been doing this kind of thing, is to vary the verses up a little bit more, because I used to just use the same thing for both verses, and that gets a little boring. It's nice to vary it up and build on what you did in the first verse. So then we have this second chorus. which will probably be exactly the same as the first one, except I do record, generally speaking, very rare exceptions, I do record all this stuff new for each chorus, even if it's doing the exact same thing. Now, what does change here is that we add in this second vocal, the second part. So that comes in with the second chorus, and it adds that nothing but danger in the field of snakes part at the end. Then we're getting into the bridge. There is a structure to all this stuff that I do, and so now we're gonna build into the bridge. That's what we're gonna do. We got this solo guitar that comes in. Where is that? Right here. So there's this solo guitar. It's actually still set to record, which is crazy. Anyway. And that, I really did record that very hot. I don't know if that was an intentional thing or not, but it turned out that way. But it worked. And you can hear you got these toms going on in this in the Logic drums. And then we get into the actual bridge itself, which is right here, the run, run, run for your life part. Okay, so on this one, I only did one solo vocal. That's it, just this one. And then there's the second. I just used the backing vocal track from the verse to come in and add this second vocal
Run for your life.
that comes in on the second half here. It'll come in right here.
Run for your life. And don't forget your knife. Run for
So here it
your
is with both of
life.
them.
Run for your life. And don't forget your knife.
And this, this backing vocal has a ton of reverb and delay and stuff. Let's actually see what's going on there on that track. I don't think we looked at this. So we have the fizzy backgrounds preset that I edited a little bit, and it's got the dark hall. It's got some reverb and delay happening here. It's got some delay ducking on, which is a nice thing that this actually provides you with. You can duck the delay, which is great because so when you say a new thing, when you sing, when your vocals actually come in, it drops down the level of the delay. So it's not kind of building up over top of itself and just getting muddy. It's nice to have that. They have it for the reverb too. I didn't use it here, but that's a really nice thing. And then they have this down at the bottom. What is this even doing? I'm guessing this is like a filter for the reverb and delay and stuff. So if you want to put it more on the treble, you move it that way. I'm guessing that's what's happening here. It's not actually telling me what that is. Is there like a question mark thing somewhere? I would assume that's what's happening there. But anyway, so that's what's going on there with those vocals, and then we'll get into the final hurrah here, the final chorus, where you put it all out there on the final chorus. Now these drums are gonna get a little more frantic. We bring in this. this solo guitar. And I don't think there's anything really crazy that it ends with. It just has one of those metallic steam loop things there. And that's pretty cool how it worked out. I think it's this here. Pattern 6. What going on in pattern 6? Or pattern I guess that's pattern 26 and I can't see the 2. The 2 is hidden. That's just the bass. Must be this. I love how that kind of plays out there though at the end. You hear that? You only hear it on the right side and then it's gone. So, let's see what else there is to denote here. Drums again, we're putting a little bit of a bump there at 122 hertz just to bring out some of those bass frequencies. And that is only the drums that I programmed in FL Studio. We have the bass here with nothing on it, literally nothing. You know what's interesting too? You see that all these things are all at maximum level pretty much because you also have volume controls here, and I tend to use those. These are like feeding into, and you see these numbers here. These are all corresponding with mixer channels. So you just set you can set any of these to any mixer channel you want. So I usually just kind of go sequentially through. But you can have all of these go into one channel if you wanted to. You can do that. That's an easy way to make a bus happen. So like all the drums are all going into one. So you can see that the kick's going into one, the snare's going into one. This rock kit, which is the FPC thing, we looked at this a little bit last week. Here it is. This is going into one. It's all going into track 1. So all these drums coming into here. We have the drum loop, which was that little percussive thing we heard at the beginning. That has a little bit of reverb on it. So there's the fruity reverb. This is the older reverb. Not sure why I used this one, but I did. I mean, they're all good reverbs, you know. All the stock reverbs in FL Studio are freaking mint. So all these don't have anything. This bell synth, this metallic kind of thing. The creepy soundscape, which I think was what we were just listening to there at the end. The echo drums. Oh, that's interesting. So what are those? Anything going into 7 echo drums, it's going into the delay bank again. We have that. And as a limiter on it just to keep it in line. What's going into that track? Let me see if I can figure out what's going into there. So okay. Oh, okay. I have another FPC that's going into this echo drum kit. So what am I using that for? I confuse myself sometimes. I'm not even sure what the hell I was doing here. It's fascinating though. Let's see if I can find out where that is. That's interesting. All right, let's just go through. Well, I'll go through patterns and see what's loaded up there. Okay, there we go. There's some stuff. The pattern 22. And I get these drums. There's a little bit of echo on them. And where do those slot into the song though? That's what I want to see. So 22, 23. I'll try to find that. Find where I'm doing that in this song. It might be in the bridge. Yeah, well, there's 20. Yep, there's 22. Why is that one not playing? I'll probably have it. I know why. We're soloed here. There we go. Hey, take care, Justine. Thanks for stopping in. By the way, if you haven't hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. It's a real cool thing to do. I appreciate it. So yeah, we have these echoing drums there. That's neat. So that's a little trick you can do. You can always take some different drums, split them off, process them differently. I recommend doing that. It's something that I apparently do. Well, I'm learning that I do these things because I'm learning along with you sometimes. We have Logic drums there, and they just have the limiter, and they have that little boost around 122 hertz as well. Synth bass. Interestingly, it cut off at 95 kilohertz. I wonder why I did that. There was probably a reason. It was probably like too much low end frequency, is what I'm guessing. What goes into the synth bass anyway? So that would be track 9, because I don't think that's definitely not that. All right, so that's this Predator thing. Okay, that's the Predator thing. All right, we get it now. We got it. We figured it out. It's this. And it was probably a matter of, oh yeah, see, that's got too much of that low end energy. I just cut that out. We just cut it out. That's what we do. Have a good night, Forrest. I know it's late over there. Thank you. I'm glad. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are learning some stuff from this. I know I am, because I like to see what I did. I was going back because I'm working on some stuff for Thomas Christ Live. I got to pre-record the show for this weekend. I was working on some stuff from Thomas Christ Live and bringing up some old tracks, and it was interesting seeing what I was doing back then and how terrible it was. I was like, what the hell was I doing? This is awful. And I'll probably come back, and 20 years later, I'll probably load this project up, and I'll say, my goodness, what was I on about here? But anyway, hello, Dan Ekberg. No, you're not too late. We still have about 15 minutes left or so. So let's see. So that's the synth bass, and now we know why there's that little bit of a cut there, just to cut out some of those low frequencies. On the guitars, oh, we have a little dip. I usually like to cut a little bit of mids out of some of these guitars. They can be a little aggressive in the mid-range. Just take some of that out. I have a parametric EQ on there too, which is doing what? One of the things that makes this a little bit difficult in FL Studio is just the way that windows appear. Okay, we have a little bit of a boost there. Oh my goodness. Am I boosting and cutting around the same frequency? No. This is at, what is this at? 1.5. So we're cutting a little bit above 1 kilohertz. We're boosting here to 2.5 kilohertz. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I see what I'm doing there. I probably just needed to add a little edge to that, and I didn't want to mess up what I had already done here. So that's what I assume is going on. Yeah, same thing here with the right guitar. And we're just boosting. This one's at 2.6 kilohertz, 2600 hertz. Yeah, that's not bad. And then we have this one, and the thing I like to do, and I probably did it on some of these. I should have done it. Maybe I didn't. But anyway, what I did do here is just cut this at 128 hertz. And you want to cut off some of those low frequencies. I a lot of times I'll do that on most things except for bass, because for the bass and the drums, Since I'm usually putting all the drums into one mixer track, which some people would disagree with, but whatever, do things the way you want to do it. But anything else, I'll usually try to cut those low frequencies because that's not going to be needed information, and it just ends up muddying up the mix a lot of times. So I will do that. You might see that here on the vocals, although you're not seeing it here because it's happening in Xbox. See, Xbox has this little thing which literally does exactly that. So when you mess around with this right here, you're cutting everything below that frequency. So I don't know where it was originally, but it was somewhere around in here. So anything below 124 hertz, it's going to cut. You could also cut at the top if you want. I usually use that more for special effects. If you want to get like a telephone sound, you can do that. Otherwise, I usually just leave that all the way up because no reason to cut the top frequencies as much. Low frequencies are they're the bane of the existence of the mix engineer because the low frequencies are really what are going to muddy up your mix, and you don't want them. You don't want them except in the bass, and even sometimes in the bass, they need to be reined in a little bit. If they're, some of these synth sounds, they make the synth sounds so that they sound cool out of the box, and you're like, wow. When you play around with the preset, you're like, wow, this sounds awesome. But there's so much bass that it's too much. There is a such thing as, you might not believe it, if my friend Dynamite Throw was here, he would probably be astounded, but sometimes there's too much bass, and you got to just rein that in a little bit because it can just overwhelm the mix. So all these vocals parts that we looked at are all going into this Vox mix. Interestingly, a little bit of a boost there at 1.4 kilohertz. That's not something I usually do, but there must have been some particular reason why I did it when I was listening to it. I just felt like maybe there was a little bit of, it maybe sounded thin or something, so I wanted to add some mid-range into it. Usually I'm doing the opposite of that, but yeah, I think that's true, Dan. I think when people say it sounds too dark, that does mean like too much low end, and yeah, you don't want that. So I think that's kind of what's going on in this track here. I don't know if there's if you have any other questions that you want me to answer or address, now is the time for that. But I think I gave you the basic rundown of what's happening in this one. Hey, Vertivox, welcome. But yeah, if you missed any part of it, go ahead back and be sure to check out the replay if you want to see the whole shebang. But if you got any questions that you don't think that I addressed or you want me to address before I go, let me know. Because if you're thinking it, somebody else is probably thinking it, and you're going to help everyone. And this vape keeps turning off. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean that's kind of how I do it. I should show you this one just for a little bit of fun. Do I want to save the change? No. We'll see if it'll open this. Okay. Oh, that's right. This one has the weird sample thing. I thought I fixed that. Did I fix that? Apparently I didn't. Okay, maybe I'm not going to show you that. Anyway, there's some missing samples that was from a feature that was taken out of FL Studio. I actually was able to find someone rendered them the WAV files, but I gotta get into all this weird stuff like that. We could take a look at this. No. Yeah, whatever. This is an old song. It's an old one. I'll be doing this one. The Dan says, like in Logic, if you bust something instead of throwing it on a bunch of tracks individually. It saves you a bunch of processing. Correct. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing that's so powerful here in FL Studio, because like you see all of these. Actually, I should bring that up. See, all these numbers, these are all instruments or samples, and they're all set to numbers. And all these tracks are numbered. So you literally just pick whatever number of track you want the instrument to go to, and it goes to that track. So you could set everything to go to track 1 if you wanted to. I don't necessarily recommend you do that, but you could do it. I did do a lot of that back in the day. But this is one I was working on because I'm going to do it this weekend. Although I have a little bit of a different version. You're not hearing that yet. But this is Drugs from Wedding at Golgotha. Now you see one big difference here. All these things are on different they're all on one pattern. So everything I did was all on one pattern. I don't do that anymore. But I used to do it that way. It kind of made more sense with the way FL Studio used to be, because the playlist was not as sophisticated as it is now. Hey, Frank Turzo, good to see you, man. What is up? But yeah, so this is just an example of like how things change over time, and this is how I did a track back in, when was this, 2007? And it's very different now, as you saw with Field of Snakes. So it's pretty cool. But I think, the bottom line is like you can do this stuff on whatever DAW you're working with. If you're working in FL Studio, you can do this in FL Studio. If you're doing this stuff in Logic or GarageBand, any DAW, Cubase, Cubasis, they can all do some variation of this. It may not work exactly the same way, and that's where you have to kind of like look at your DAW manuals and stuff. And I know we love looking at manuals, right? We're big manual people. I know I'm not. I'm sure as heck not. But we look at the documentation, look at forums. Forums are great. Reddit is awesome. There, for any DAW you think of, there is a subreddit for that DAW. And I'm on, I'm looking at the FL Studio DAW. I got the Logic Pro, or the FL Studio subreddit, the Logic Pro subreddit, the GarageBand subreddit. I look at all those. So whatever you're using, Bitwig, if you're using Bitwig, I don't know of anybody using Bitwig, but I'm hearing good things about it though. But it really doesn't matter. That's the thing. You can use these DAWs and learn them. I've been using practically the same DAW for, this song I just showed you a little bit of here, that goes back to 2007. So there's something to be said for consistency. Just keep working at it and keep practicing and keep doing it, because I just showed you here, like I was doing everything all in these individual patterns, and it wasn't, it worked, but it wasn't quite and you should have seen I already cleaned up the routing on this. The routing was an absolute mess. Some things weren't even routed to anything. Now, if you don't route stuff, I could show you this real quick too. If you don't route stuff, like, see this kick here? If I brought this down one, see how there's these 3 lines there? That means it just goes directly to the master. No channel at all. And I was doing a lot of that. You shouldn't do that. But anyway, some of the things that can happen. Pausing Guitar says, I wonder if that's why my sound isn't right. I never make any buses. Well, buses, you don't need to. What are you working in, Pause? Can you tell me that? What DAW are you using? Is it GarageBand? on like iOS GarageBand or Mac GarageBand, that makes a difference. Studio One. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, that should be able to do all that stuff. As far as I know GarageBand has limitation that you can't. Hey, James Myers, welcome. Yeah, FL Studio, man, it is awesome. But Studio One, I actually got that free with a mixer that I had, the one that broke. I wish I still had that mixer because it was amazing. But it was a Studio Logic something. I don't remember. Anyway, a big, huge mixer that doesn't work anymore because I think the power supply went bad. But anyway, Studio One, yeah, you should be able to do all those kinds of things, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it. And the only reason we use the buses and stuff is because it brings things together. It's one of those things that you're probably not going to start out using buses, but as you develop, as you grow, as you do more stuff, you can start to experiment with that, and it's part of the growing process. But anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time here tonight. We are at about the 1 hour mark, so I thank you very much. I'm going to be back next week. I think what I'm going to do is, just because I don't want to just do this. I think I'm going to do a specific topic next week. It may be drums or synthesizers or something. I'm still mulling a few things over, but I'm going to have a more kind of focused topic, I think, next week, and we'll come back and we'll talk about that. And if you think of any questions in the meantime, you can always go down into the comments and leave a comment, and I'll be sure to respond to it when I get a chance. So happy to answer any questions that you might have related to this. And yes, Mike Enjo, yeah, he does some Studio One stuff. Absolutely. So go and check that out as well. I'm sure he's got some great videos on some of the specifics, diving into specifics on how to use Studio One. But thank you all so very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. We got You Rock coming up tomorrow. If you haven't sent a track in, there's still a little bit of room for a few more tracks. So send them in, bit.ly/You Rock submit, and I will see you there for the show tomorrow. Don't forget, Leela's coming up tomorrow. She's got live from the Leelaverse, and Jade Star's doing some a whole bunch of Rob Jackson apps that look really cool. So you're gonna want to check those out, and then I'll be up with You Rock right after that. So much love. Take care, everybody. Most importantly, you know what to do. Keep rocking. Peace.